You know, without a doubt, the hardest part of doing any of these videos is the introduction. I just have no idea how to start these videos. I might start with a joke or I don't know, some sort of catchphrase, but for right now, the only thing that's caught in my head is "What is up, guys?" And sadly, that one's taken. So I think I'm just gonna have to just get into it. What do you guys say? Does that sound good? All right, I'm gonna do that. I wanted to talk right now about an aftermarket scale maker that is I'm particularly fond of. His name is Aramis Akhmedov. Now, if you have been in the paramilitary 2, para 3 club for very long, you've probably seen some pictures of his work on any number of knives brought to you by myself or for fellow admin Thomas Moore. And the reason I wanted to talk to you today about his scales is because there's a lot of questions that go around on a daily basis about what's available, how do I get them, how do I know what to order, and I wanted to kind of give you a quick overview to give you some of the tips that you're going to need to know. So to start with, Aramis Akhmedov lives in central Russia. He is deep inside the country, and he has access to all of the best materials that you're going to find on really any other knife out there in the industry, including carbon plate, fat carbon. He uses G10. He also uses carbon fiber. So I have 3 of those available here, and I'm going to show you them now. The first set that I purchased was this set. These are carbon fiber, and you can see in the construction that they're actually very three-dimensional. They actually have a curve to them, and if I hold it this way, you can see the thickness of the scales. They're actually thicker somewhat than a standard paramilitary 2. Now if I hold this one just for reference, you can see that the blue knife on the left is much thinner than the carbon fiber on the right. When you hold it in your hand, you will notice the difference in the thickness, and I don't mean it in a bad way. The knife will fill your hand differently than the more boxy style of the traditional paramilitary 2, and you're going to have a little bit more of a rounder feel in your hand. These scales are called the Grand Line, and the Grand Line gets you this very beautiful contour that's cut into the scales. And you can see, if I hold it at this angle, you can see the swooping cutaway here that's actually scalloped. So this scale is available in 2 forms. You can get it in the Grand or the Grand Line. Grand is going to be smooth to the touch all the way across. The Grand Line actually has lines in it that are carved in like a fluted pattern. And it's going to be difficult to get on camera, but I think you can see there the scalloping that's been done on the scale surface to go this direction. So the line is excellent for giving you additional grip. You're going to find that this is not nearly as grippy as G10 or peel ply, but it's going to be much better than a smooth carbon fiber. So in the hand, these scales are warm to the touch. They're rather dense, and they add some rigidity to the knife. So just in terms of playing with the knife and flicking it open and closing the knife, you're going to find that the knife is going to be very, very smooth in action because of the additional rigidity of the scales. When you order scales from Aramis, you have to specify what type of clip that you want. Because this is a 3-dimensional surface that's has a radius to it, if you want to mount a clip, the clip has to be flat so that the clip will mount properly. So when you purchase his scales, if you intend to use a deep carry clip, then there's a deep carry option that you need to specify, and that will work with either the Lynch or the MXG clips. If you go with a traditional clip, the mount's going to be different, and you'll find that a deep carry is not going to work as well. One thing to keep in mind is that a deep carry clip also means you're going to need longer screws, and the traditional Spyderco screws are not long enough to work with the scales. So this won't be an issue for you if you purchase MXG clips. So again, this is the carbon fiber Grand Line scale. Also in Grand Line, this knife, but this material is a carbon twill, he calls it, and this is made by HelloTex. Now, HelloTex is an interesting material because it's part aluminum fiber and part carbon fiber. And the really neat thing about HelloTex is that it comes in a lot of different colors. So I believe there's a purple, there's a garnet color, there's a dark ruby red, there's a sapphire, there's a silver, a black, and a white. So really gem tones are available in the HelloTex. Now the HelloTex is more affordable than the carbon fiber. For some reason it's less expensive material, but it's a very, very pretty material, and I liked it so much I ordered a pair of 3 and a pair of military 2 and matching so that I had a pair. To the touch, these scales feel just like carbon fiber, so there's really no difference. In hindsight, I wish that I had ordered these smooth instead of with the line, because the line texture, I think, detracts a little bit from the twill and the look of the twill. If I wet this down and give you a demonstration, you can see how much these scales will pop when they're a little bit shiny or if there's some moisture on the surface. So I think that if I had purchased them without the line, they probably would have had a more bold look to them. So keep that in mind when you order. The third set we'll talk about are these scales. These are carbon fiber with brass inlaid in them, and this pattern is called Damascus. So this scale I purchased without the lines because I felt that this was a very busy pattern and I didn't want to cloud it with the lines. And also the shimmer is just excellent. See how the shimmer is? I rotate them. There's no additional buffing or anything that's really been done on this other than cleaning it. That's just how the material looks when it's machined properly. Now, this material, I believe, is made by Fat Carbon. Fat Carbon is a premier company for making scale material, and they are also located in the area of Russia, in the central province of the former Soviet Union. So, really easy for him to get this material. This price, I believe, is about the same as the carbon fiber and slightly more than the HelloTex. Now, this style of scale is called a 3D Classic. And if I hold the Grand Line and the 3D Classic next to each other, you will see that the scalloping that's available here is not on the 3D Classic. The 3D Classic just simply has a 3-dimensional profile here, and there's no additional scoop on it. So I think it's important to consider the way the pattern is going to look when you're ordering the not only the style but also the texture on the scale. Now, open, the handle is slightly different as well. You can see that the swell here on the scale is actually quite rounded with a nice finger cut here on the Grand Line. This is a much sharper point. This is a sharper point. It does still have the relief here, but this scallop is the primary design feature of this scale. So, some other styles that he has available, I did a quick run through his website, and I found that he offers the 3D Classic and the 3D Line. He also offers the Grand Line and the Grand Classic. He offers something called the Enco and the Enco Z, which has a very deep, pronounced carve to it. And then he also lastly has something he calls Spy Web, which is actually a spider-shaped web with a little spider on it. And I've seen those in person, and I know they're really cool. If you go to his website, you can go to aratech.ru, and you can see more of his different styles. I don't have any yet, but he also makes shaman scales. He makes Benchmade scales. He makes Para 3, obviously. He makes Yojimbo. He's getting ready to do a smock scale, so he has lots of different options available. I'd encourage you to go to his website to see some of the different items available, and that's aratech.ru. If you go to his Instagram account, you're going to see a lot of beautiful pictures of the things that he's made, and it's Aramis_Akhmedov. That's his Instagram account, and his email is probably the best way to get a hold of him. If you send him an email, you can send it to aratech@mail.ru, and Aramis answers his emails personally. He can answer any questions you have about the materials. He can talk about availabilities, and he can talk about manufacturing times. I can tell you that in the case of all 4 of my scales, the manufacturing time was less than 9 days. I believe he promised 3 to 9 days. All of them were made in less than 9 days. The only hard part about getting his scales is getting them in the mail and sent to you wherever you happen to live. And given the state of the world that we're in right now, with COVID affecting shipping everywhere, it's going to take you a little longer than it used to. So I would tell you that these scales are more than worth the wait. And I don't know anywhere else you can get a set of fat carbon scales in less than 3 months than from Aramis Akhmedov. This last set that I ordered in March. They arrived in early May, and I don't feel like that was too long to wait given the state of the world that we're in now. The bulk of that time was definitely in transit. So I hope that helps you make some decisions about what might be right for you. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to reach out in the club. You can talk to Thomas or myself because we have plenty of them. You can reach us at the Millie Paramilitary 2 Para 3 Club. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. Pretty easy to find, and we'll be happy to help you pick the right skills for you. Thanks for watching.